Start the clock.
Good afternoon.
What's up, everybody? It's the OG, the one and only Rose G, and welcome home to my channel. Before we get started with today's video, I kind of want to say a couple things. It's kind of an announcement, kind of me just like speaking my piece. Your girl Rose G has reached 100 subscribers. Finally! Sorry if I sound like kind of out of breath. I'm a little congested. I think I'm kind of getting sick, so just bear with me. I am extremely proud of myself. I've had this channel for about 2 years now, or going on 2 years. And I've been posting sort of consistently for the past year. So for me to reach 100 subscribers, like, I understand it's probably like a little small number. I kind of have like low confidence sometimes, so the fact that 100 people subscribe to my channel, 102 actually if I want to be specific, but the fact that you guys subscribe to my channel, the fact that you guys watch my videos, the fact that you guys click on me and listen to me of all motherfucking people, like, you guys are fucking dope. I'm gonna work 10 times harder for you guys. I really don't want to disappoint. I really don't want to lose any of you guys. It's one thing if I were to lose you guys because, you know, you just don't agree with what I say, but it's another thing to lose supporters because I'm not putting any content out. So like I said, we're working really hard on being consistent with this channel. We're gonna post more videos. We got more dope shit coming out. For all my new viewers that just recently subscribed, or if this is your first time watching my video, please go check out my last couple of recent videos. I have a life update for you guys in case you guys have not seen that. I say a lot of things. I kind of explain like why I was a little absent here on my channel, so you guys could kind of get a little bit of understanding, like, you know, what's going on with me. So now that I got all that shit squared away and taken care of, I'm gonna get started with today's video. As you guys can tell by the title of today's video, it is going to be about my first job. In case you guys are wondering, my first job was working at Burger King. Yes, I worked in fast food, whether you want to believe it or not. I kind of got Burger King, so totally not sponsored. Not that I ever would be, especially by Burger King after this video. Their cheesy tots, I may be lactose, but these are fucking fire. Without further ado, without further interruption, let's get started with this motherfucking story time. Definitely, like, when I first started my channel, I was like, you know what? I gotta tell a story about this place. I gotta tell a story about this place. This place was trifling. I fucking hated this place. Within this story, I'm gonna be telling you guys how I got hired, like the whole process to me getting hired, what I went through. I'm gonna be talking about like what it was like working there and some of the things that I dealt with. And I'm also gonna tell you guys about me quitting, why I quit, why I left, why I don't work there anymore, all that good shit. Way back when. So this story is starting back when I was about 19 years old. I was going to college, the community college, the same one that your girl dropped out of. If you guys are interested in watching that video, don't worry. That will be a link down below in the description box for that. During this time, I was going to school pretty much for my dad. I know it sounds like really fucked up because college isn't fucking cheap. College isn't one of those things where you just kind of go for somebody else. You literally have to go for you, because if you're not going for you, you're gonna lose interest, and that's like kind of like what was going on. My dad was always told me growing up that all I had to do is go to school and he'll take care of everything else. Like, he'll pay for my schooling, he'll pay for everything that I need and all this other shit. And as I grew up, I realized that that really wasn't the case at all. I was trying to basically like be an adult, you know? I didn't want to be a daddy's girl for the rest of my life, and I didn't want to just rely and depend on my dad. My dad obviously paid for everything, so like my makeup or like clothes and stuff like that. When it came to like clothes or just things that I wanted, like other things, like I don't know, just like other shit that I wanted, you know, when you want shit and you just want to be able to buy things. This is like before I was smoking weed, so like weed wasn't one of the things I wanted to buy, just to be clear. My dad would say no a lot. He would be like, no. Now, on one hand, it's like, okay, he just wants me to be more responsible and actually get stuff that I actually need. But on the other hand, I was like, but these are stuff that like I want. It was just like, it was just a really difficult time for me. Like I said, I was 19 years old. I was young. It was frustrated for me. As time kind of like grew on, I just kind of realized that like I was being treated like I was fucking 15, 16 years old, and I wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. If I wanted to go to the movies, I had to ask my dad for money, and he wouldn't let me because he wouldn't let me go to the movies because he didn't know my friends. And it's like, okay, I'm an adult, so when can I start doing adult things? Just things like that. Me and my dad started to butt heads a lot. My mom was kind of like a non-factor through all this because whatever my dad said, my mom went along with it. Like, there was no, if your mom says it's okay, it's okay. Like, no, if dad didn't say it was okay, don't even, my mom would like look at me stupid, like, why are you asking me? So that really like fueled me to want to be more independent. And to me, kind of independence was having my own job, getting my own money, making my own money, managing my own money. I brought it up to my dad. I was like, hey dad, like I was thinking about like applying for a job and things like that. Like I just started grabbing job applications. I started applying to JCPenney's. I started applying to Route 21, Home Depot. Like literally I was applying everywhere. And my dad told me, he's like, stop applying. Like, no, you can't have a job. You can't have a job. Like, literally, I know it sounds fucking crazy. I've told people this before. My dad did not want me to get a job. He didn't want me to get a job because, like I said, he wanted to pay for everything. He wanted me to take care of everything. He just wanted me to be focused on school and he'll take care of everything else. Which, like, on one hand, okay, reasonable. But on the other hand, what am I supposed to do? Like study all day? Like I have no life. I don't know how to manage money. I don't know shit. During this time, like I said, my dad and I were butting heads a lot and it became really, really toxic for me while I was living with my parents. I was constantly, like I said, I was getting treated like I was 15, 16. I'm having to live and abide by rules that a 15 or 16-year-old could have, you know? And it's like, I felt like I had no freedom. I was constantly getting berated, talked down to, and all this other shit. And I was slowly getting tired of it. And I couldn't take it anymore. My best friend, the one that you guys see in my vlogs and my other videos and stuff, I would tell her, be like, yo, like, I feel like I can't do this. Like, this is getting so toxic. It's getting so bad. Like, there's things going on. And there is a lot more going on than what I'm saying in this video. So if you guys could put two and two together, that would be cool. It was just so bad. I was really depressed, really sad. And I was telling my best friend all this. I was like, dude, it's just getting fucking worse. Like, it's like everything that I was doing wasn't good enough anymore. You know, he was expecting me to be perfect and I wasn't. And my mom wasn't standing up for me at all. Like, she just kind of let me take the verbal abuse that my dad was dishing out to me. I started talking to my best friend. I was like, dude, I want to leave. I want to move. Like, I don't want to live there anymore. And my best friend really put a lot of things into perspective for me during that time. She would like tell me like, okay, so what are you gonna do? Are you gonna have a job? And I was like, dude, I can't have a job because my dad won't let me. And at this time I had a license and I had a vehicle, but it was my parents' vehicle and I couldn't just take the car wherever. My dad didn't like me driving the car. My best friend and I had this, I wouldn't say like she's a mutual friend because we both consider her one of our best friends. Me and this girl later on had a falling out because some shit happened. I actually do have a story time about this particular girl, but like I said, that'll be for another video. For this story, we are going to call this girl, Lana. While I was in college, obviously my best friend went with me too. We both went to college together. That's how we reconnected after high school. My best friend met this girl named Lana. At first, you know, like I was a little like apprehensive about this girl just because I wasn't really too sure about her intentions. I later on grew to, I guess, tolerate her, and I actually did kind of grow to like her a little bit. You know, she was kind of cool. And Lana had a job. She worked at Burger King. And my best friend would talk to Lana about my situation, like, yo, like, I don't know what we could do for her, like, it's really bad. Lana said, you know what, we need people at Burger King. Let me go talk to my boss. Let me see what I could do. We'll get her an interview and all this other shit. She did. She managed to get me an interview and stuff. And I told my dad that I had a job interview. And he was like, oh, you could go. He's like, but you're not going to set the job. Like, he told me, he's like, even if I were to get the job, he's not gonna let me take the job, but he's like, you could go for experience, so whatever the fuck that means. I did get it. I went, I talked to both of the managers, I explained to them, I was like, look, like, I never had a job before, but like, I'm willing to learn, I'm a fast learner, like, I'm motivated, I'm dedicated. I'm basically giving them this whole spiel on like why you should hire me. And like, I was really desperate to get hired, like, I'm not gonna lie, it really was, because how I saw it was that this job was gonna be my ticket out. Whether my dad knew this or not, that job is gonna be my ticket out. I just needed to make some money so that way I could make something happen. After the interview was over, I thought it went pretty fucking well. After the interview was over, they said, okay, we'll get in contact with you, you know, whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. Within that time span, I actually ended up leaving my parents' house. And it was not easy. They ended up taking my phone, which was the same phone number that I used for Burger King to contact me to let me know if I got the job. I do plan on telling you guys that story about the night that I left my parents' house and what went down. I feel like it's kind of like really important and really essential for you guys to understand exactly like how bad things were for my home life, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna hold that off for next time. I ended up leaving my parents' house. I started to live with my best friend, and she took me to Burger King, and I explained to them, I was like, hey, I don't have this cell phone number anymore. I don't live at this residence anymore. I'm going to be here. You guys can contact me at this number. And my best friend let me use her cell phone number. And I ended up getting the job. I ended up getting hired. They put me on. They had Lana train me for a few days, and honestly everything was pretty good. Like, I caught on pretty easy. It was my first fucking job, and I was like so fucking nervous. Like, I worked with fast food, and there was just so many, like, it was like a new experience for me, and it was super exciting. Now that we got that whole hiring process out of the way, let's get started with the fuck shit. While I was working at Burger King, I saw so much fucking shit. I learned the menu pretty fucking quick. I was even able to take some orders in Spanish because I learned all my food items in Spanish. And I was pretty fucking good. I was only there in total for about 3.5 months, but I was kicking ass. I would say I had everything down after like 3 weeks. And then after that, I was just constantly like, I was going hard. I was always getting called in for overtime. For all of my people that haven't gotten a job, or you're about to get your first job type deal and you're watching this video as a reference, please don't ever accept being underpaid. When I started working at Burger King, I was on that whole probation thing, you know, where you have to work a certain amount of hours and then your wage goes up. At the time, minimum wage was $9. For my first 90 hours, I was getting paid $7.25 an hour. That is extremely underpaid. People weren't getting paid that amount. Like I said, at that time, minimum wage was $9 and I'm being paid $7.25. So like, my first check was like 120 fucking bucks, but it was like 120 bucks for me. And it just really like fueled me like, okay, I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna fucking pass these 90 hours. It's gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy. I ended up passing it. And I was just going hard. Like, I was like literally like one of the best workers. There was like a lot of like fuck shit going on. Like, you know, coworkers fucking other coworkers. Some people would like make out like outside, like near the dumpster, or they would go over to the pizza place that was next door and they would like make out over there. I also heard a couple stories about people fucking in the freezer. It's just so disgusting. No, your girl was not one of those fucking people. I did not do that. I did, however, end up fucking one of my coworkers. That's a story in itself, actually, because that guy actually had a child on the way when me and him slept together, and I didn't know he had a child on the way until his baby mama texted me and told me what the fuck was up. But at times I did work with Lana. Like, we did have like quite a few shifts together, and I remember one time she was being like such a bitch at work, and I was about ready to like beat the shit out of her, and I was like, dude, like, I'm so done with you. Like, stop being a fucking bitch. It's not that fucking big of a deal. The only thing that I did not like about Burger King, like the biggest fucking reason why I left Burger King, was because of my boss. Not the night manager, not the morning manager. I'm talking about like the manager of the whole fucking Burger King. That bitch. I'm not even gonna give her a fucking name because she's just a fucking bitch. And I don't care if she were to watch this video because I don't like her. Fuck you, by the way, if you were to see this. So this bitch had a daughter, okay? She was a single mom. She was busting ass. Okay, kudos for you. She had this daughter who was like 10 or 11 years old. And her daughter was homeschooled. So her daughter was always at Burger King. Like every time the bitch manager was there, her daughter was there. I did hear her a couple times like tell the workers like what to do, because I guess like there would be times in which they weren't wiping down the table right and her daughter would say something and like we would get pissed because like you're not our boss, we don't even like your mom, so like why are you talking type deal. This bitch, this fucking manager was so fucking shady. So for those of you guys who don't know, when you work at a food establishment, like when you work for like a delivery service or a pizza place or a fast food place, you are required by like food law, whatever fucking law. It is part of the rules and regulation. Every time you work for a food type of industry, you have to go through this the food handling test. You have to get your food handler's card. Basically what that card means is that you guys know the cleanliness, like how to properly cook the food, how to properly store the food, basically how to not get people sick and die. We're all supposed to take it. We're supposed to pass it with a certain percentage. I didn't know this until I went to my next job after Burger King. That's where I found all this out. What was going on was the bitch manager didn't want us to take time away and take the test because at this time we were short staffed. Like we were supposed to take the food handlers test within a certain amount of time of us being there, and like pretty much all of us were late on taking the food handlers card. So she was getting bitched at from the higher ups, like they need their food handlers card, like some of these cards expire, some of these don't have any at all, so they were just on her ass. And at this time we were short staffed, we were super busy, it was getting towards the holidays. Instead of having her employees take the test like we're supposed to, she paid her daughter $10 per person that she had passed the test. Her daughter would take the test for us, and if there was like 12 employees, guess what? Her daughter just made $120 fucking dollars taking a test that we should have been taking. Like the fuck? Because like if somebody would have gotten sick because somebody didn't know how to properly handle the food, it would have fell back on Burger King. And guess what? It would have fell back on that employee specifically, because if they were to look back like, okay, do you have your food handler's card? Did you like not know type deal? And if it shows that we have our food handler's card, we're going to be held responsible for that. She got pissed at one of the employees because they looked high and they kind of smelled like weed, but literally there was like this one employee that always came in like smelling like weed. Like she had her favorites, essentially, is like what I'm trying to say. Like something that like one person would get in trouble for, like somebody else that has done it repeatedly, like she'll just kind of like let him go. Like I literally remember this one coworker coming in smelling like ranking of fucking weed. She opened up all the doors and the windows and she took him to the bathroom and had him sprayed with air freshener. So basically she helped him cover it up. Like he was clearly high as shit. This bitch is like, I can't really send you home, so I guess I'm just gonna have to Febreze the fuck out of you. Like she was like kind of gross and nasty. Like she did have I don't know if it was like her boyfriend, I don't know if this was just a dude that she was seeing for a while. I noticed that we would be like hella busy and our bitch ass manager wouldn't even be there. Like we couldn't find her. Like she wasn't in the office, she wasn't like cooking, she wasn't expediting, she wasn't in the lobby. So like where the fuck was she? Well, come to find out, this bitch was in the bathroom sending naked photos to her boyfriend. Bitch, we're over here fucking 20 cars deep in the fucking drive-thru and you're over here sending your fucking pussy to your boyfriend. And this shit fucking wait. This was only confirmed because Lana had to use the manager's phone for something. I forgot for what. Like I forgot what it was. She used the manager's phone to make a phone call. She hit end And then the call log went away, and so it opened up to pretty much the last screen. She saw the boss's text messages, and it was like to her man, Lana, like, I don't know if she was trying to be nosy or not, but you know, I mean, like, if shit pops up, you're gonna, like, you know, look through it a little bit. She saw a naked photo of our boss that was sent to our boss's boyfriend, and she went back and told me, and I was like, wow, this is why this bitch is in the bathroom so long, because she's over here sending nude photos. Are you serious? You're over here on our ass, like, we need to be on time, we need to focus, we need to this and that. You're over here sending naked photos in the bathroom. Like, what are you, 15 or some shit? Like, what the fuck? Here was the breaking point of me leaving Burger King. I was literally one of the best employees that they had. Like, I was fast, I was quick, I was able to do drive-through and, like, clean up the lobby, and, like, I was just really, really good at my job. The times in which we were short-staffed, I was literally doing, like, three people jobs in one person. It was coming to Thanksgiving time. You know, of course, people start requesting holidays. Well, not really holidays, but people start requesting days off because they want to see family. For those of you guys who don't know, maybe some of the viewers who have been watching me for a while, maybe, I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but I'm gonna say it now. You guys know that I have a sister, or some of you guys don't, but I do have a sister. We have the same mom, but different dads, but regardless, she is still my sister. I did not grow up with my sister, and this is something that I've never talked about on my channel. I never mentioned this before, but I always had a sister, and I never really grew up with her. Like, we grew up when we were younger, and unfortunately I don't remember living in the same household with my sister. Like, even when I look at pictures and videos and stuff like that, I don't remember. There is a period in my life where I didn't know I had a sister because I was young and I forgot that I had one. But there was a period in my life where I didn't have my sister growing up. I only talked to my sister maybe like a couple of times on the phone. I saw her once at a funeral, and then I went to her high school graduation, and after that, it was about 10 years before I saw my sister again. I feel like I should say this so that way it makes a little bit more sense. The reason why my sister and I didn't really see each other a lot, why we didn't have a lot of contact, was because of my parents. Like, I would like to put it on my dad, I would like to put it on my mom, but it was both of them. My dad said that I couldn't see my mom's side of the family, and my mom didn't argue it, and it was just, it's just a lot of shit. But just understand that I wasn't allowed to talk to my sister. That was one of the rules living under my parents' roof. I wasn't allowed to speak to my sister. I wasn't allowed to have communication with my sister. My dad felt that my sister and my mom's side of the family was drama and problems and stuff, and so he kept me from them. After I left my parents' house and I was living with my best friend encouraged me to reach out to my sister, and that's what I did. And I told her, and I was like, hey, like, I don't live at home anymore. I live with my best friend, like this and that and that and the other. It took a couple of months for us to finally, like, reconnect and see each other again. It was towards Thanksgiving, and she said, hey, like, I'm gonna go to grandma's house, like, you haven't seen grandma in so long, about me and her man at the time come pick you up, and we'll take you to grandma's house, and, like, we'll take you for the weekend and stuff, and you could, like, reconnect, and, like, basically we could, like, catch up on what they missed out from so many years of my life. Like, yeah, sure, like, yeah, fuck yeah. I didn't request Thanksgiving off. I didn't even request the day after. I requested 2 days after Thanksgiving off. And mind you, I never took a day off at that job. I always showed up. I even showed up when I got called in. I sat down, I told her, I said, hey, like, is it possible I could, like, request a couple of days off? And I opened up and I told her, I was like, look, I haven't seen my sister. I know this is going to sound crazy, but, like, blah, 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 blah. And I literally broke it down for her, and I showed her the text messages and everything. Like I explained to her my situation, and this bitch looked me in my face and said, you know, if I give you these days off, your hours are going to be cut after that. What she was telling me is that if I went through and requested those days off and took those days off, when I came back, my schedule wasn't going to be the same. So essentially, this bitch was telling me that she was going to fuck with my money. She was mad or pressed or bothered, whatever the case was, that I wanted to request a couple of days off. It wasn't like I was taking a week. It was literally like 2 or 3 days. Like I had so much sick time. Like I was there for like 3 months at that point, and I hadn't taken any days off. None of that. I already passed my probation long ass time ago. So like, what was the fucking issue? I looked at her and I was like, okay, that's fine. Because I mean, what am I gonna do? Be like, oh my god, no, like I'm not gonna. I knew that she was set on her decision, that she was set, like, if you take these days off, I'm gonna cut your hours. And I wasn't about to be like, okay, never mind. Like, did you expect me to say never mind? Did she really think I wasn't gonna fucking go? Or like, what? I firmly believe that this manager was fucking jealous of me. I had higher ups that would like come down, check out the business, and they would see that we're short staffed, and they're like, okay, well, why are you short staffed? Why are you this? Why are you that? Like, you're putting pressure on employees. Like, realistically, it was just me, because I'm over here doing drive-through. I was expediting and preparing, not preparing like my own orders, but I was getting the bags ready and bagging the food. I was getting the drinks ready by myself. And then on top of that, I was helping the other coworker at the front register by taking orders off of that when I had time from the drive-thru. I was doing 3 people jobs for 1 person, and higher up saw that and they're like, why aren't you a manager? Would you be interested in being a manager? Like, they really like saw potential in me, and she heard that. She didn't like that. That's pretty much where this all started. So when I came to her in a time of need, this bitch was like, yeah, you can have it, but it's gonna cost you something, type of deal. I went, I saw my sister, I had fun, we got tattoos together. Like, it was my very first tattoo on top of that. To be honest, I would never, like, if I could go back, I would fucking do it again. I would do it again 10 times over. I'd probably tell her to fuck off too in that same fucking sentence. Like, don't ever fucking say some shit like that to me. Don't put me in the position where I had to do my job over my family, especially like when it comes to my sister. After I just told you that I haven't had her in my life, I haven't seen her in years, and you're just gonna tell me, well, if you do, you're not gonna have your hours. I went from working like 6 days a week to all of a sudden 4 days, and then 3 days, and then she only scheduled me on the weekends. I would have 8-hour shifts, and then she started cutting those shifts. I started working a lot less, and of course, when you work a lot less, it takes away your money. And I saw what she was doing. She said what she said, and she pulled through what she said, and like, okay, cool, like, congratulations, you could stand by your word, but you just fucking played yourself. December 21st, I put in my 2 weeks at Burger King at our Christmas party that we had. I'm like, fuck your Christmas party. I don't give a shit. Like, I put in my 2 weeks. I didn't have another job lined up. I was applying like fucking crazy, like trying to get out of there. But I went in and I put in my 2 weeks, and I said, fuck this, like, I'm out. One of the jobs that I applied at was TA. If you guys have been watching me for a QS minute, it's that trucking, resting, gas stations job that I had for about a year and a half, you know. And a lot of people were like really sad to see me go, like sad that I put in my 2 weeks, because I mean, like I was really like such a good worker, and everybody loved me, and they understood, you know what I mean? Like, they knew what kind of shit that she was going against. Like, they all saw how she treated me like shit and all this other shit. So like, they understood. It's time. Like I said, I was living with my best friend, and her family was going to go to Vegas for New Year. A couple of days before my best friend and I and her family like took off to Vegas, I did get a call from a job, and it was TA. It said, hey, we got your application, we're interested, and blase blase. And, you know, when are you available for your interview? And my best friend was sitting right there. Like, me and her were outside waiting in the car because her mom had a doctor's appointment. And I had him on speaker, and I was just like, how about next week? Blah, 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 blah. Because I said it like a couple of days. I think I said it like the day after we were supposed to come back from Vegas, and they're like, oh yeah, that's perfect. Like, yeah, we could get you started then. I got off the phone. I was like, well, I put my 2 weeks in at my shitty job. I'm about to go to Vegas for a little bit. And when I come back, I'm about to get a new job. Like, it was looking up pretty good. So like, that's basically like how I got the TA jobs. Mass applications, and that was one of the jobs. Well, that's the only job that actually called me and was like, hey, we want you. When I went to Vegas, I was on schedule. I didn't tell my manager that I was going to Vegas or anything. Like, it just kind of left. Like I said, I was done. I had 2 weeks left. Bitch put me on the schedule on Saturday and Sunday for a 4-hour shift. What the fuck, bitch? Had me working 12 to 4? Like, what the fuck's the point of me being here? I remember, like, literally, like, walking with my best friend, her family, and I called my job, and I was like, hey, guys, I'm not gonna come in. The boss was like, okay. She's like, all right. And I was like, oh, and by the way, I'm not gonna be able to come in tomorrow either. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I'm out of town. Pretty much, I put in my 2 weeks at Burger King and I didn't even finish my fucking 2 weeks at Burger King. That is my story time / my experience with my first job. I worked at Burger King. Your girl worked at fast food. That is the first and last time I ever worked for a fast food place. I did see her a couple, like once or twice after I left Burger King. And this bitch had the audacity to be like, oh, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Bitch, you're so fucking fake. Fortunately, Burger King is still there in my hometown, but they did like take it down and remodel it and rebuild it, which is like good, I guess, because that place had fucking like roaches everywhere. I mean, I don't know if they were like roaches, but like, yeah, they were like roaches. Because a cockroach, to me, a cockroach is different than a fucking roach. Like a roach is like, oh, a little baby thing, and a cockroach is like this big, ugly, nasty shit. I even saw one of the roaches go in the ice cream machine, and I told all my friends not to eat the ice cream because there's a little roach like swimming around in some ice cream and shit. That is my story about my first job. I hope that you guys enjoy this story. Don't ever take shit from a manager. Sometimes you can go to HR about things, and sometimes you can't. It just literally depends on the situation. But you know, I mean, if I could go back and do things differently, first of all, I still would have went and saw my sister. That was not about to change. I probably should have called corporate and told them about that conversation. I probably could have gotten her in trouble, but I was young. I was naive. Part of me thought she really wasn't gonna do that because like you can't do that. Like you can't cut somebody's hours just because you fucking feel like it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. Comment down below your first job or any fuck shit that you've experienced at your job. And also too, give this video a like and share my channel with your friends. My family is constantly fucking growing. All of my new supporters, subscribers, however you choose to refer to yourself as, welcome. Yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. You guys stay safe. Bye.
Don't lose me. Said don't lose me.